In our ecotourism slot, Tanya went way out west to enjoy diversity of a very different kind.
This week I'm in County Mayo to see how they've come up with two very different and imaginative ideas to get the best from their resources and their environment.
Mayo can be roughly divided in two. The north is covered with large areas of blanket bog. The south has better soil, so it's agriculturally more productive.
Each of these landscapes offers its own unique opportunities.
Over 70% of Ireland's food is imported, costing our economy almost $5 billion a year, and all of it having a big environmental footprint in shipping and transport. Ireland is in a great position to go back to growing more of our own food. Like many communities around the country, people in Mayo are coming up with imaginative ideas to develop and promote their local produce. Westport is the starting point for the brand new Great Western Greenway, a walking and cycling trail based on an old railway line that closed in 1937. Last year, the Greenway won a Destination of Excellence Award from the European Commission's Eden Initiative.
The Gourmet Greenway is a food trail showcasing the great selection of artisan foods here in and around Mulranny, Newport, Westport and Achill, along the Great Western Greenway. I think I'm going to enjoy this.
I'm taking a whirlwind tour of some of the food producers on the Gourmet Greenway to see how it's working for them, and hopefully gather the makings of my dinner along the way. The Gannon family supplies Clew Bay oysters, mussels and clams to Ireland and throughout Europe. Padraig Gannon and his band of helpers took me out on a collecting trip.
So what are we doing?
We're going to bring back the last of the graded oysters and putting them out around the corner.
Are these oysters?
They're market size. They're ready for market now.
And then these are these ones.
They're the clams, that's
Clams
right.
that we have here. And then these are mussels, obviously. So the Gourmet Greenway, how are you finding it?
Yeah, it's good so far. It's only in the early stages yet. It was a pity it didn't happen 20 years ago. It has really put the whole area on the map.
Harvesting every day from Padraig's grade A beds ensures freshness and sure-to-door delivery.
And what's grade A to you?
Grade A means it's very clean and it makes marketing easier. Here, wheel away.
Before I left the Gannon family, there was one more thing I had to do.
You're going to try one of these before you go. Try and swallow it in one go if you can.
How do you do that? Does it just...
It'll go down, just get it in.
Delicious and slimy.
Kelly's Butcher Shop has been doing business on Newport's Main Street since the 1930s. They have a very close working relationship with local farmers.
Are you Sean Kelly?
I'm Sean Kelly. I'll tell you, all the meat here, I know the field it came out of. Just take this like a lamb. I buy the land off the farmer, so I know where they come from.
I've heard of something you do called putog. What's that?
Putog, I'll show you the putog. That is the putog. It's the original Irish pudding. It's handmade, the same as it was, I said, 100 years ago. What you see is what you get.
It actually looks like a piece of art.
It is beautiful, isn't it?
So why did you get involved in the Gourmet Greenway?
In one day in August, there were 742 people in the Gourmet Greenway, going between Newport and Mulranny. It is the best thing that ever happened.
Before I knew what was happening, Sean put me to work in the back of the shop.
I do this, and then I'm pulling that through. Are all my hands meant to be in here? Well, I guess it's not bad for my first go.
Not bad at all. Well, I say after maybe 5 or 6 years, we'd make a butcher out of you.
My next stop is all the way out in the west of Achill at Keene Bay, where Jerry Hassett began smoking wild Irish salmon in 1985.
They're big, aren't they? You make it look so easy.
Practice makes perfect.
So I presume this is good quality fish then?
Clare Island is probably the best quality of the lot.
Really? How so?
Mainly due to the fact of the environment it grows up in. You're dealing here with 3,000 miles of water outside us, so the water that's here is crystal clear. There's no heavy industrialisation anywhere along the west coast, so there's nothing to pollute it. Salmon are loaded on trays, and they go into the smoker for approximately, depending on the size, but approximately 6 hours. So, and you can see them now where the smoke is passing across them.
Back at the Mulranny Park Hotel, Chef Ollie O'Regan is waiting to cook up the goodies I've brought back from my travels.
They smell good. Oh, whoa! This is great fun. That's good.
Next morning, I noticed a group of very cheeky and unusual-looking goats chewing their way through somebody's garden. A little detective work brought me to Sean Carolan, an expert on the old Irish goat.
The old Irish goat is actually a cold weather goat, and the long coat of hair is very distinct. They're also quite small in comparison to other improved goats. They also have small ears as well, which is to protect from frostbite and that. And really they're just found in pockets now in Clare and Mayo, but there's very low numbers now.
Sure, we just saw a few over there outside somebody's house.
I mean, they are a nuisance, but they're also very enjoyable to look at. As I say, they're part of our heritage. I'd like to see more awareness of the old Irish goat as a breed, and people might visit Mulranny just to get a sight of these. And in fact, one of the things I think myself is that they could potentially rival the Scottish Highland cattle as a heritage icon of County Mayo.
My next call is to the north of Mulranny on the way to Bangor Erith, the vast, uninhabited and unspoilt wilderness of Ballycroy National Park. As I said at the beginning, there are two sides to Mayo, and there's not much chance of a plate of oysters up here on the bog. Getting the best from this landscape comes down largely to preserving it as it is. Conservation ranger Cameron Clotworthy took me hiking deep into the mountains.
Down here we have the Tarsahon Moor River. Well, Ballycroy National Park is actually Ireland's newest national park, and it's the third largest as well. It's 11,000 hectares in size. So it covers a lot of the Neffenbeg Mountains and then a lot of the blanket bog coming off those mountains. But it's actually formed from decaying plant material in a wet environment. And this is one of the building blocks of blanket bog, is the sphagnum mosses. We're quite unique in Europe in the fact that we have a lot of blanket bog habitat which is of really good condition. It's got a lot of important species that are within it, and also species that rely on the blanket bog to survive, like the Greenland white-fronted geese. Golden plover would be another species that breed up on these upland areas, but they're reliant on this habitat. Their chicks are reliant on the food that's within the habitat.
The rangers are kept busy monitoring the wildlife and carrying out low-impact works to ease access for hikers within the park.
So Cameron, what do you see for the future of the park then?
Hopefully there's going to be more visitors coming to the national park because we have the visitor centre there now, and that's a great resource. The visitor centre is located in the village of Ballycroy, so there's a direct benefit there to the village by bringing in tourists, and hopefully they'll stick around, and then those that want to go out up into the mountains can do that, but they can also then go out into the rest of the community and see other things going on in the countryside.
The Gourmet Greenway and Ballycroy National Park are inventive solutions for building environmentally responsible tourism in two very different parts of Mayo.
The people of Mayo can be proud that they've come so far in creating an excellent ecotourism product to put in the green map of Europe. This week, I'm in one of our most spectacular and cherished counties, County Clare. I'm here on a mission to define ecotourism and see how the people of Clare are making it work for them and for the environment.
This is O'Brien's Tower. It was built in 1835 as a viewing point for the tourists who were, even then, flocking to the Cliffs of Moher. And the cliffs are still a huge attraction, up to 1 million visitors a year.
The short definition of ecotourism is nature travel that advances conservation and sustainable development efforts. Fair enough.
There are 7 essential principles that make up an ecotourism experience. I'm going to see how some of them are being applied here in County Clare, particularly in and around the Burren. Catherine Webster is director of the Cliffs of Moher Visitor Experience. How does she welcome 1 million people into this environment and conserve it at the same time?
Well, we take that obligation to protect the environment here at the Cliffs of Moher very, very seriously. It is, after all, what people are coming to see. They're coming to see the natural heritage. So the cliffs are naturally eroding as part of the sort of natural process, the wind and the rain and the waves against them. But that was being exacerbated by the number of people going right out to the edge. So by putting up the walls and asking people not to cross them, that basically has helped reduce that increase in the erosion process.
Do you think that all the measures that are being taken now are actually making a big difference?
Well, we know they are because we do bird counts on a regular basis, and we've seen the bird numbers that had been decreasing during the 90s and the early 2000s are actually increasing again in certain species.
To preserve the cliffs, a number of measures are in place, including the use of renewable energy, minimising and managing waste, reseeding grass habitats and managing visitor flow to discourage people from entering protected areas.
And what we're hoping is the environment will be protected for people so that they can continue to come into the future.
The Burren and the Cliffs of Moher have just been declared a UNESCO Global Geopark. Local man Peter Curtin took me out on a walk near Doolin and told me about the Burren Ecotourism Network, a grouping of locals providing everything from painting holidays to outdoor adventure experiences. Businesses in the network have gone through a training and assessment programme to be certified as an Ecotourism Ireland accredited ecotourism destination.
It's essential that we take care of the Burren and the landscape, and the Burren is about nature, but it's also about people, and it's also about vibrancy, and it's about people earning a good living in the Burren.
And is it working, do you feel?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Anywhere that has ecotourism, people are flocking to the places. Obviously, hopefully not too many people, because you have to protect the environment. But yeah, it's working very well.
This is the Bog Hill Centre at Kilfenora. It's advertised as the perfect place to relax and unwind. Eco-responsible relaxing is definitely something I can handle. I guess I'll have to rejig my definition of relaxation. Carrie, why are we jumping up and down on bucket straw?
Well, this is cup building. This is an ancient building material. There's an abundance of clay, and this is mixed with straw and an aggregate. We use recycled glass and sand. This is the preliminary to building something like this here.
Carrie, what else do you guys do here besides hijacking tourists?
Well, we're an eco venue. We host all sorts of workshops and training courses. We put on activity holidays. We try and run the whole place, making minimal impact on the earth.
The centre has a strong commitment to promoting local culture, holding music and dance workshops and courses for all ages, and taking visitors out to events in the community.
You might have noticed it's been a bit wet, but the great thing about the Burren is if it's raining up there, you can go underground.
Over the ages, the action of water on the Burren limestone has carved out a huge network of spectacular cave systems. Two of the easiest and most rewarding to visit are the Doolin Cave, with its impressive stalactite, and the Alwy Cave, with its underground waterfall.
This is Kathleen Knoll. She runs Burren Fine Wine and Food. She also gives cycling tours in the mornings to tourists. So we off, Kathleen?
Yeah, sure. Away we go.
Kathleen's local knowledge adds an unusual personal touch to her guided cycling tours. You can learn a lot in 3 hours on the road.
You're just coming up to Glen and Sheen, where you have the wedge tombs.
such a nice feeling. Kathleen, do you not have enough to do running a busy restaurant? I mean, why do you have to bring bicycles into it?
I suppose really because I love to cycle and I love the early morning, the peace and the quiet, and it's just lovely being out.
Do you think it's important to have personal contact with the visitors?
Oh yes, it's such a special place, Tanya, I think, and there are so many hidden gems that it's very important to have the local interaction and to get on the inside track and to know exactly where to go and see.
The Burren offers surprisingly varied ways to experience a more personal contact with nature. This is the Bird of Prey Centre at the Elwy Cave.
How old is he?
This guy's 4.
And what age was he when he came here?
About 16 weeks. So that's when he would have been fully grown. They grow at an incredible rate when they're young, you know. That's all they do is feed and grow.
Wow. His feet are incredible. Well, thank you very much, Bud. I wish I could take you home with me, but I know I can't.
Part of County Clare VEC, the Burren Outdoor Education Centre offers active outdoor educational adventures to all age groups. Sea kayaking, rock climbing and caving are just the first few on the list.
This is Joanna McInerney from the Burren Outdoor Education Centre, and she's taken me over here. Here I go.
We're very keen for people to understand what it is about the Burren that's unique, because it's one of the only places here in Ireland where the limestone is above ground. So we would explain to people what the different formations are, what's the natural history behind it. What I enjoy most of all is seeing people's reactions to it, how much they enjoy it, but also how much they understand a living landscape.
Woo! Yay, well done.
How was that?
Felt surprisingly good. The Burren Ecotourism website lists an extra principle, number 8, ensuring visitor satisfaction. I think they have that nailed. Oh, this is mad! Over the last few weeks, you've seen me climbing mountains, trekking across bogs, and swinging from ropes. This week, I'm taking it a little bit easier. I'm in East Cork to check out the Green Hospitality Awards and to see how you can have a greener holiday without sacrificing comfort or quality.
East Cork is a popular destination for family holidays with a range of activities and attractions and a number of blue flag beaches. There are hotels, guest houses and B&Bs of all shapes and sizes. But while the kids are running around burning up energy at a frantic rate, unfortunately, many of the hotels are too. Most Irish hotels, restaurants and pubs perform quite poorly in environmental terms. They tend to be wasteful in the consumption of resources and the generation of waste compared to their European equivalents. Energy bills can be hundreds of thousands of euro and managers often don't audit their energy expenditure. That's where the Green Hospitality Awards come in. The scheme certifies and awards the hospitality industry on their green credentials.
About 1 in 10 Irish hotels have a Green Hospitality Award cert, but what's in it for them and for you?
There's been a hotel on the beach at Garryvoe for over 100 years. Stephen Belton runs the popular family-owned hotel, which has a Platinum Green Hospitality Award, the highest you can get.
What does it mean to the guests that you're a green hotel?
Well, it means firstly that we're looking at our environment responsibly and we're looking to the future. When they come and visit us, that they see aspects of that message throughout the hotel.
Does it cost more for the customers though because you're green?
Absolutely not. In today's environment, we have to manage our business effectively, and that means that we're the same pricing, if not cheaper than other hotels.
Do you think there's a demand out there for a greener hotel?
Yes, I think there is a demand. It's small, but it's growing.
Maurice Bergen runs the Green Hospitality Awards programme. He's an expert in helping businesses to save energy and has extensive knowledge of best practice in Ireland and around the world.
It's about looking at every aspect of your business and how can you take positive steps to reduce your impact on the environment. The members have to follow a set of guidelines. They must do certain things covering waste, water, energy, biodiversity, green purchasing. You start with an eco-label, you then go for the silver award, then a gold award, which we define as best practice, And then for currently only hotels, we have a Platinum Award, which is world-class best practice.
How is it benefiting the visitors?
A lot of people are trying to be just more responsible. So those businesses that present themselves responsibly are satisfying the demands of the customer. I believe Ireland has, with this ability to position ourselves as an outdoor, experiential, the adventure, the fun, whilst providing great quality, great service to visitors and travellers.
So what's in it for the hotel?
Save money. Energy, water, waste are three big costs. And the ability to present yourself and market yourself as being more responsible. The average business can save between 20 and 30% of their total energy, their waste and their water. One of our members has saved €200,000 a year by managing their business better with no impact whatsoever on the customer.
It sounds to me like the Green Hospitality Awards is a smart idea. We'll find out a little bit more about that later. Now it's time for a bit of exploring.
East Cork is ideal walking and cycling country. The range of habitats here, the proximity of Cork City, and the impact of thousands of visitors makes conservation a high priority, and not just for the locals.
Over the years, I've covered a lot of stories about the importance of conserving our native plants and animals, but sometimes there's more to conservation than meets the eye.
I'm in Fota Wildlife Park with Warden John McLaughlin.
We breed a lot of the rare and endangered animals that you see here, and we support a lot of conservation projects around the world. Last year, we donated €100,000 to different conservation projects.
Tell me a bit more about the breeding programs.
Fota, among other zoos in Europe, a lot of us are members of EASA, which is the European Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and we basically have got together to breed rare and endangered animals.
The European bison breeding program has been a great success at Fota.
In fact, we sent 4 of them back to the wilds in Poland in 2008. We do well with them. They fit into the Irish climate. One animal that we have been heavily involved in is the scimitar horned oryx, a rare antelope from Africa. In 2008, we sent a male back to Africa to assist in the reintroduction of that species.
How do you measure your success in the breeding programs?
The first measure will just be the fact that we're breeding them and they're doing well, they look good, they're reproducing, they're behaving naturally, and with some of the species, it's just nice to be able to send them back to the wild.
I'd love to stay here all day, but I have to get back to Gary Vaux. Stephen is going to show me some of the backstage nuts and bolts that make the hotel run green.
Stephen's goal is to make the hotel carbon neutral. Besides the obvious measures, energy-saving bulbs, less detergents, cutting down on paper, there's a tree planting program and a rainwater harvesting system for the swimming pool and toilets. Even the car park functions as a giant water collector. Stephen has reduced the hotel's carbon footprint by 70% by installing a highly effective combined heating and power plant, new air handling units to recover potentially wasted heat, and a computerized building management system to optimize energy use for heat and hot water.
What's the most impressive green area of the hotel that you've saved on?
Well, one of the most impressive ones is the absorption chiller, which is just behind us here. As a byproduct of the CHP plant, we produce an awful lot of hot water, and that changes hot water into cold air for our air conditioning. It runs on 3 kilowatts, versus if we were going to do it in a normal way, it would up to around 200 kilowatts an hour. So it's saving that difference.
Was it a big investment, though?
It was. It was just under €200,000 to put it in. There's only 2 others in Ireland, but it's saving up to around €20,000 a year on electricity, just to cool the ballrooms and the public areas.
What would you say to other hotel owners about turning green and getting involved in the Green Hospitality Awards?
They should consider it for 2 reasons. First of all, the cost of energy is not going to go down. There's no doubt about that. The cost of fossil fuels are not going to go down. Secondly, to look at it as an opportunity to get more business in. I think that it's a growing market.
I had a brilliant time here in East Cork. The Green Hospitality Awards programme is smart and sustainable, and it won't hurt your wallet. Greener holidays, you know it makes sense.